Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafters and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make a card using the Papercraft Society, and this is box number 37. It's inspired by Sam from Mixed Up Crafts. Inside this box we get a wallet, and inside the wallet we get a load of goodies, as well as products that we get inside the box. So I have everything out to make a card. I'm just going to quickly show you what comes inside the box. So we get a booklet with lots of card styles and ideas from the design team members in Craft Stash, and that's the lovely Sam who's inspired this box and designed it. We get some cardstock, we get some glitter cardstock, we also get some pattern papers, and we get some toppers. I'm just going to quickly show them there to you. We get some stamps, and I take my stamps out. I put them on a 300 GSM white piece of cardstock, and then I put them into these little folders or little wallets for in my craft room. And then I do the same for my dies. I put them on a 300 GSM cardstock, and then this is a magnetic sheet, and all my dies go on there. And you can see I put the information on these so I'll know what they are, because I don't keep them with this. They have their own little slot inside, a little shelf. We also got some stencils. We got the Christmas lights and the Christmas baubles. We got some lovely little pegs. We got some flat sequins, and I love these. They're multicolored. We get loads of different colors inside, but they're flat, so really great for shaker cards. We also get this clear twine. It's like fishing twine or fishing thread or thrish. I don't know what else to call it, but it's a very, very thin gauge, and this is for making spinner cards. And there's loads of cards ideas in the booklet inside your box. So I have all these out and ready and a card style made. I just want to say one more thing. Inside the book, if you are a subscriber to the kit, you'll be given a link to download the papers, and what you can download is the pattern papers and the topper, and I have done that here. Now you can see you can download them to this size, whatever size you want. You can take the downloads and you can size them up for your printer. So I have done them in all different sizes. You can see here I have some really big ones, and I have this paper is 220, I think, GSM, and I've also printed onto 300 GSM. So I have all the pattern papers in there, and I've printed them up large on A4 sheets rather than half an A4, because I like to make 6x6 and 5x7 cards. So I like to have the big size, whereas in the kit we get a half an A4 size page. You can see them here in the background. So you can see this is the size we get in the kit, and then this is the size I have printed up. So you can, hubby was saying to me that you can take the image and have it small like this and print it up on the whole A4, but I'm not that clever yet. So I need a tutorial with hubby for doing that, but I'll get there. But I'm quite happy to have it this size at the moment, but I can print them up this size if I like. So I have all my downloads printed up. I have all the products from the kit. Now let's go ahead and make a card. So I have everything I'll need now here on my scoreboard, and this card is going to be a pop-up split frame card. Now I've made one of these in my last video and it was a 5x7 card, so this time we're going to make a 6x6 card, and this is inspired by Jennifer Maguire. I did Sam from Mixed Up Crafts, she made a pop-up frame card, but it was Jennifer that I seen where she had split the frame and left a gap in the middle. Now she was using dies from a die set that she was using to do the split frame, so I'm just using a round die that came in this kit. So in the dies we get this die, and I'm going to use this for part of the split frame. So let's go through everything you'll need. So first off, I have a card base, and this measures 12 by 6, and I will score it at 6. On top of that, then we need some pattern paper. I have here a piece of 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 pattern paper, and this is one I printed myself, so it's larger than the standard size, so you can use either the paper that comes with the kit or print up some pattern paper from the downloads. Then on top of that, I have these two pieces. These will go inside. This is the red cardstock from the kit. This will go inside my card, and it measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I have a white piece then. This measures 5 1/2 by 5 1/2, and that'll sit in here. I will then stamp my message on the inside and embellish this before we attach it. I also have two pieces of pattern paper. This pattern paper, again, I printed an A4 sheet of. This piece measures 9 by 2. Yep. And we're going to do some scoring on this, and I have two of these. Then I also have this piece. It measures 4 1/2 by 2, and we're going to do some scoring on this as well. I've taken one of the foiled pop-out die cuts that we got in the kit, and I'm going to use that for my centerpiece on the front of the card. And then I have the die as well that came from the kit. So these are all the pieces and parts that we're going to need. Let's go ahead now and do some scoring. So I have my card base here, and I'm going to score this at 6 inches. Now you can use a shop bought one, but I generally find that they are not 6 by 6. They're like 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So hence the reason I'm making this one myself. And once I have that folded over, I'm going to burnish that, and I'm going to leave that out. So that's our card base all done, and onto this then we will attach our pop-up frame. So we'll put that over there to the side. Next we have our two pieces with our lights on it. Now these two pieces, we're going to score them. So the first score we're going to make is at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score at 1 inch and 1 1/2. Then we're going to score at 7 1/2, 8 and 8 1/2. And we're going to do that with both pieces. Once you've that done, then we're going to score this piece. This piece is going to be scored in this orientation, and we're going to score it every 1/2 inch. So we're scoring at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, and at 1 1/2 inches. This piece is going to go inside at the top, and it'll sit behind here. I'm going to fold this accordion fold, and the reason I'm putting this in here, I didn't put it in the last one I made, but I'm doing that because I want to hang my little Santa topper. I want to hang that from this. So rather than hanging it off this piece, it's going to hang off this piece. So like I said, we need an accordion for this, so we're going to score it into a valley, then a mountain, and then a valley. So our piece will sit inside like this. Next we want to score these pieces, or we want to burnish these pieces. So we're going to fold, and we have a mountain, a valley, and a mountain. And then on this side we have a mountain, a valley, and a mountain. And I'll do the same for this. A mountain, a valley, a mountain, then a mountain, a valley, and a mountain. Now this pattern paper isn't very strong because I didn't print this out on 300 GSM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of cardstock behind this, a piece of 300 GSM cardstock. So depending on what you're using for these two pieces, you might do this in 300 GSM cardstock and then put pattern paper on top. So for me, I'm going to die cut out two pieces that are 2 inches by 6 inches, and they'll sit behind this, and it'll give strength then to these pieces. So I'm going to do that next. So I've put some cardstock behind these two pieces, and it doesn't matter if it's not the full length, you just want to support this if it's not 300 GSM cardstock. So next I'm going to take this die, and this is the die that came in the kit, and I want to die cut out an opening. Now what I want to do is take it down about 1 inch from the top, and I want to make sure then that whatever the measurement is from this score line here to my circle is the same from this score line here to my circle. So I have measured down now 1 inch from the top, and my die measures in 1.25 inches from each side. So now that I have that in place, I'm going to bring this over to my die cutting machine, and I'm going to cut this out. So I'll be back in a minute. Now I've die cut this out, and you can see it's come away there nicely, even with the 300 GSM paper on the back. It's still come away nicely. So I'll just take a bit of washi off. Now what I want to do is I want to slot my die back into place. So I'm going to take this piece and this piece. I'm going to measure them up together like so. Then I'm going to take my die and I'm going to sit it back into place, and it'll slot in just like a puzzle piece. And then I can tape that down, making sure that the papers match up. It doesn't have to be exact because they're going to be split apart from each other, but as long as they're in basically the same place. So I'm going to put this now through my die machine again. So now that has gone through. So I'll just take the washi off nice and carefully. Now it's just literally hanging on by a thread there, so I'll just take my scissors and follow the cut. And I'm not even cutting through, I was just running the scissors along it. So there we go. Now we have our top and bottom. Now you can see it's flattened everything out, so I will redo those score lines again. And I'm scoring at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 7.5 inches, 8 and 8.5. I have my matte and layer here in my stamping positioner, and I have my VersaFine Clair inks ready. I'm going to stamp Way Hey It's Christmas Time, and I'm going to do that in Nocturne VersaFine Clair, and then I have the Santa in his airplane, and I'm going to use the VersaFine Clair Morning Mist for that. And this will be subtle enough that you can write over it. That's the reason why I'm using the grey ink. I just missed a little bit of his hat there. So there's our Santa. And now I can do the Way Hey It's Christmas. Way hey, it's Christmas time. I love that. So that's for our inside of our card. Now that we've that done, I can go ahead and assemble the front of our card. So let's do that next. So we have everything ready now. Let's assemble our card. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add these to the front of our card base. So to do that, we need to use some glue, and we're going to add some glue to this tab and this tab here. So I'm going to use my Quick Grab Cosmic Shimmer glue. And we'll add this to the top. So I want to make sure that this edge here and this edge here are along the edge of my card. Hopefully you can see that. It's right up against the top there and the edge just here. So I'll press that down, and now we can add adhesive to this tab here. And in the other video I actually added the background paper on first and then put the tabs down, but you see the tabs then when you do it that way, whereas if you do it this way, we can slide the pattern paper into place and we can actually cover up where our tabs are. So again, I'll just make sure it's level with the top and level with the edge. So you can see there now, you can see where our tabs are in here. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. I'll add these down here. So I'm adding my glue to the left hand side, and then I'll add it to the right hand side and then press down firmly. So now we can slide our pattern paper in here like so. So I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to this first, and I'm going to use my collal for that because when it dries, it'll dry nice and rigid and hard. So I get my collal glue and I'm going to add that onto the pattern paper, and you'll see that then behind our opening on our split frame. But as I'm doing that, I remember this piece, I need to pop this in the top. So I add a little glue to one tab and I press that in against the card. And once I've that in place, now I can add my pattern paper and I'll slide that down and into place. And once I have that in place, then I can add some liquid adhesive to the other little tab there at the top. This piece is what I want to add my little Santa topper to. It'll dangle from this rather than from the front of the frame. So my Santa, I'm going to punch a hole in this and put some string on it. Now in the last card I made, I had the string stuck onto the back of this, so it was hanging out there, but I want this to hang in the middle. I want it to hang back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little hole there, and that way then I can have my string come through, and that way it'll dangle from the middle. So that's what we're going to do next. So I have my X punch here. What I like about the X punch is it gives you 3 fittings, 3 different sizes. You can punch anywhere, a hole anywhere in your cardstock, whereas with a normal punch you can only punch so far from the edge. So this one I'm going to put a little hole just there. So I'll press down. Oh, yeah, I made a hole. It slipped a little. So I have my hole here now. I can use my string that we got in the kit. I cut a piece of cardstock and I just shaped it like a spool, and that way then I was able to, well, actually it all knotted on me. So hubby spent time, he took the time to actually unwrap the whole thing and wrap it around this for me. So I'm going to add my clip back on there, and then I can take my scissors and cut this off. Now you could use a piece of ribbon if you wanted rather than this string, but it just means that it's hidden. So I'm gonna tie this around here, and now I have enough to hang that through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hole right there in the middle, and I'll pull my string through and tie a little knot. So now that sits in there. So I want to embellish the front of the card now. I've taken a stamp from my stash. This is the Santa and Rudolph A5 stamp set, and I got this last year, and I have Santa Claus is coming to town, and I have stamped that out here. So I'm going to fussy cut this out and pop that over the top. I stuck my stamped image down onto some of the red cardstock I'd left over that I used for the mat inside, and then I fussy cut around that so it gives us this red shadow behind it. So now we have that there, and I'm going to pop that up here like so. And I'm going to use some foam tape for that. Once I have my foam tape then added to this sentiment, I'll be able to pop that up on the left hand side, and I think that will look nice there. Okay, so I'm going to add my mats and layers to the inside, and you can see here that I haven't coloured in the Santa inside. I'm going to get a little box of colouring pencils, and I'm going to add them with the card so that the recipient will be able to colour in the Santa and his airplane themselves. So I've used the chunky alphabet dies by Made to Surprise, and I'm going to put the name Callan down here. This is going to be Callan's Christmas card, and I've also die cut out some of the stars that came in the kit, and I'm going to embellish the whole lot. So let's go ahead now and glue down our letters. So I'm going to make sure that the two L's, which will be literally right in the middle, I'll glue those down first, and once I have them down I can glue down the other letters because I want to make sure that it's balanced on the bottom of the card there and that it's even. I'm going to take some of the stars, you can see them there. I used the star dies that were in the kit and die cut them out in gold, and the reason I did them in gold was because we have gold stars on our topper, and that's the reason why I didn't use the snowflake dies that came in the kit, because the stars are on the topper, so I wanted to kind of run with that gold stars theme through the front of the card. So I've added my letters down for Callan's name. I die cut out each of the stars 3 times, so I'm going to use them all except for one. I'm going to put a large one on the inside, and I'm just really kind of focusing the stars to the top right and the bottom left of the card. So there is the second last one to the inside, and then that little one I put at the top right. So there we go now. There is our swinging Santa in its split pop-up frame card, and I just love this. I'm going to add a little sparkle and some glossy accents to this, but before I do, let's have a look at our card. That's the inside, and it stands lovely. It stands really nicely, and it looks really good. I love the little swinging Santa. So I'm going to finish doing that, and then I'll take a little video and show you front on how it looks. So I'm going to leave you now with some images of the card we've made, as well as a little video at the end. I hope you enjoyed my card tutorial. If you did, you might give it a thumbs up. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. And if not, you might click on the subscribe button and ding the bell. That way you'll be notified each time I post a new video. And it helps my channel to grow when you do those little things. So I really do appreciate it when you do. So that's it, folks. Take care, stay safe, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.